is his first best of 5 series. This guy went from, or second, but he went from game 1, amazing Nunu, great game plan, everything went as expected, really aggressive plays, to game number 2, started getting a little bit shaky. Then game number 3, okay, I have to revert to my comfort champion, and I still had a bad early game on my comfort champion. Yeah. Can he recover from this and actually continue to play aggressively and try and play with Impact? Oh, it looks like already with the early Lulu pick, that might not be the strategy. Impact has played a lot of support champions in the top lane, Lulu and Morgana, so this is definitely a possibility for top Lulu.
Well, also with the Maokai ban, things get changed up a little bit. I have no reason to suspect Santorin doesn't go for Gragas yet again. He's been really dominant on that champion. Team Solomid very willing to give up a variety of high priority first picks so that they can take 2 good picks on the back end time and again.
Well, once again, we're going to see Dyrus' champion pool stretched a little bit more. The Nautilus does get taken away here. Lustboy won't get his Thresh, but just pick another hook, whatever, no big deal here.
Protect Apollo?
Maybe. Thing is, he's been really good in the regular season. I haven't liked Apollo's playoff play quite as much. It concerns me a little bit.
We've seen him the vast majority of games Sivir Graves.
Yeah.
Kog'Maw is the one exception that he was not on Sivir and Graves.
It's interesting here because
they're committed to this now.
They're committed to it now.
This is 100%
APCog.
They're also probably going to They could also go with something like Jinx if they really wanted to and have APCog with the Jinx AD carry, but the protection strategy revolving around 1 or 2 carries is locked in.
Yep.
At this point, TSM, do they just pick more and more hard engage and try and bust that death ball as much as possible? They already have the makings of it.
I think
they can already split up the ball with the Gragas ult. They can already initiate with Nautilus. It's not like this is a great counter to what TSM picked with the first 2 picks. It's just committing to a strategy.
No, I think TSM called them on this play, and they're like, you know what? You want to play defensively? I have never seen you play defensively. Try it. Let's see how you do. And they just pick a bunch of hard engage.
Yeah, every once in a while we do see Impulse play multiple supports. You're seeing the Morgana ban every single game. Like that's usually top Morg here. And they actually win games in like 25 minutes with that kind of composition from the laning phase. TSM playing more aggression here. The Urgot comes in, maybe swaps someone out who's important. The Corki for Wildturtle. So these are not 2 hard engaged champions, though. TSM don't seem to be going for that.
They are...
Well, that's one of them's a hard engaged champion. He can swap someone back into their team.
I suppose.
The other is an AD carry. I think they're still, according to most of the plans here.
I guess to my thought it was like of the mid laners, like there's Diana and Fizz and like these things that really get to the back line. But you're right. Bjergsen can definitely start fights. Wildturtle can definitely put damage in. So I'll retract that.
I definitely want it to... You said 1 or 2. I definitely want it to be a 2-threat team here for Impulse. Yeah. I do not think this is the type of team that survives with a 1-threat. So definitely last pick Sion would be ill-advised, as we saw yesterday.
Oh.
All right.
But a last pick, TP Smite Shyvana for some split pushing with the death ball.
A little bit more threatening.
All right, well.
What the heck?
Alistar support, Lulu mid. Nunu jungle.
Not your normal way to close out a protect the cog strategy, but not completely out of line. Alistar can still knock people back or be a good CC bot, and having a sped up Shyvana can be almost more threatening than a sped up Kog'Maw in some situations. Giving him the benefit of the doubt here.
I actually...
most AD carries would agree with you.
Yeah.
In my mind, I actually like the Alistar here. I like the Shyvana as well. Second threat, right, from the top lane, whatever. The Alistar is a hard engage because we've seen that Impulse can use it to good effect over in game 1, while still being a good bodyguard, right? Headbutt back, whatever the melee guy is. So I have to see what Impulse can do with this composition. We know where these champions are going. Team Solomid to take some time to grab their last possible champion. It will be a Sion here, so a giant beef wall with 2 marksmen behind it.
Their whole team, actually, composed of giant beef cakes.
Which Kog'Maw is good at cutting through. And Shyvana has some decent percentage health damage as well. Not the worst composition to go up against this. I don't know if TSM wins this team comp battle super hard here.
Yeah.
It's going to be about how they play it out in the game. although I do have to mention this series heavily going towards Team Solomid and whether or not this is all part of some larger plan. I actually talked with Locodoco on Thursday about his predictions for this series, and he said they would lose, TSM would lose the first game and then win the next 3.
Yeah.
So we are actually 1 game away from that prediction coming true with TSM, always adjusting in these best-of-5 series and then taking it home.
So last time we saw Urgot, he was one of the first people focused in a lot of the team fights.
Yeah.
From Impulse. This time around, you have to choose between him and Turtle. Well, actually, the last time Turtle was on Corki as well.
Yeah, well, the thing is also the first time around, he had a bunch of other ranged champions around him. This time there's a front line to soak up that and say, I dare you to engage past a Sion and a Nautilus and a Gragas. So,
and again, the Gragas for scattering these teams that rely on synergy, these teams that rely on buffing up somebody. Gragas is the perfect champion against that.
Absolutely. So some risk here for TIP. Either way, guys, at home, let us know who you think's got the edge heading into Game 4. Tweet hashtag TIP win or hashtag TSM win to @LOL Esports on Twitter. Team Solomid 1 game away from another Finals in North America. TIP looking to make their first way in. They got to win 2 in a row for it.
TSM chants always strong here. Reginald's always cheering as soon as you walk in with his giant portrait up on the side of the screen. But honestly, this one they're going to have to win with the Urgot here, something TSM was not able to do in the first game of the series. XiaoWeiXiao as well on a much more defensive mid laner. Again, Orianna as a somewhat defensive mid laner was the only thing he's won a game on this series.
As we said last time as well, the lane swap was a big part of why TSM got a big early lead in the last game. And already they have Turtle hovering on the top side. Impact looking for that good early jungle start for Shyvana that he got in Game 1.
And Impact will get his aggressive trinket down to spot for these lanes. I'm curious to see how these various matchups
it's been spotted
play out.
So this time around, Russian Impact, again, same story for the early start, but TSM have been alerted.
Minions have spawned.
They pinged that something's amiss here,
Impulse
but
is kind of second-guessing this, it seems.
I think they have enough for it to be safe, right? There is one route in for TSM. They could theoretically stab these guys in the back, but
Base gate them.
yeah, they could base gate him, but it looks like it's not going to happen.
That would also require TSM to abandon their own start. As it stands right now, Wildturtle's going to take a lot of damage.
Oh, yes, he is.
But that pushes them off the jungle camp start right away. Russian Impact are nowhere near their jungle start. And Lustboy, he's going to delay him even further.
That's 2 minutes in the game, and Impulse have not done any jungling at all. And in fact, they've lost more health than TSM have. Now, Wildturtle can't build a freeze anymore, but do they really care? Look at this. Lustboy's going hard.
Yeah.
Nautilus, the level 1 god.
And Impact forced to smite it.
I mean,
so
he's just going to keep annoying him for the entirety of this jungle. They do not have the skills to fight back.
Yeah, exactly. They shared experience on that Gromp, so neither of them got level 2. There was no possibility of a Nunu leveling up Snowball to try and chase down Nautilus out of their jungle, so he runs both of them off of the blue side.
Hold on, though. Adrian, level 2 order looking mid lane. Bjergsen will not... Ooh, good flash.
Didn't have to burn his flash on Alistar, though, so a return gank could be an easy kill if there is no backup there for Bjergsen. Lustboy's just hoping to find someone there. This is his jungle.
All right, my wolves are still here.
Yeah,
my blue buff's still here. Everything's in order. Don't get out of line.
Man, 2 smites to 0 and Lustboy out jungles Impulse. That's always going to be insulting. But XiaoWeiXiao now with a summoner spell lead in the mid lane, able to shield himself on Lulu, able to push in as well. Can maybe make life hard. Oddly enough, top lane is actually freezing, and I wouldn't have thought it could have, since TSM couldn't get the lane on time at the first place, but Impact not going to get much here.
These level 1s are just so peculiar, and they're consistently in the favor of Team Solomid. Games 2 through 4 here, TSM with a great start. I mean, Santorin against double smite gets a full clear of his jungle and is guaranteed ahead of the enemy jungler.
Lustboy has flash, pulverized up into the air, but there's not a lot of damage. Follow-up is impact. And Adrian only level 2. Wildturtle at 3. Yeah, you're not very tanky without ulti, Alistar.
Rush just now hitting level 3. A full level behind Santorin.
Yeah.
Also, Santorin has not only hit level 4, but he's been back to purchase, already upgraded the machete, and back out on the field with wards.
And that manifests as a 400 to 500 gold lead for Team Solomid. With that scoreboard up at the top side, Impact using Smite to last it a bit more. Adrian just cannot possibly help. He's only got 500 health. Gets the headbutt, pulverize, ignite on the Lustboy as well. Adrian forced a flash wave, and here comes Rush. Ooh. Oh no, Wildturtle! He gets to trinket the brush, and he can't land the auto attack. He finally does. It's a kill trade though. First blood and 1 kill for Impact.
First blood still better for Wildturtle. He gets more gold out of that and the kill. They just have to worry about the threat of impact with that extra gold early on in the game. Santorin looking for a gank of his own. Apollo has got a flash, still gets hit.
Oh wow, does not flash at the right time. The flash E from Dyrus. The knockup's gonna land, and the AD carry goes down. Dyrus gets the kill. TSM far ahead.
Dyrus gets to play League of Legends. Uh-oh. He's on Sion. He's got the wave frozen in front of his turret.
You know, one thing that's always kind of cool about the playoffs is you get these different pocket picks depending on who has been scrimming whom. And TSM and Cloud9, since they're on opposite side of the brackets, usually are pretty good scrim partners. Consistency between these two series is the level 1 invade on support Nautilus from both Lemon Nation and Lustboy. That is definitely something that emerged with these guys in practice and has been so effective here in the LCS. They know the limits of that, and it's been working for them both.
It has been absolutely. Of course, Cloud9 waiting to join one of these two teams in the finals, and so far in Game 4, that team is looking like Team Solomid. The Nautilus jungles maybe we'll come out in the finals here if TSM can close this one out, but of course we are still in the early game. Santorin 3 levels up on Adrian. You couldn't possibly win this fight on Alistar.
Adrian has no flash. I mean, if Santorin gets his spells back up, he could straight up kill him here.
Lustboy smells blood too. Headed in.
All right.
Adrian level 2 as support. Jeez. This early game is going heavily in the favor of TSM. The Dragon is a nice thing for them to pick up, but will not help their gold or experience.
I'm actually really curious, too, how this Sion Kog'Maw lane fares now. Because of the kill for Dyrus and the fact that they're actually even in CS.
He can kind of bully him. He can push him in.
He's shoving him into the turret over and over. Kog'Maw, remember, central to this team because they picked up 2 tanks with the last 2 picks. Need to get him max W, need to get him to that Trinity Force as quickly as possible.
He is lower farm than every single carry lane of TSM. He gets a solo lane for XP, at least he's leveling up, but certainly a far behind Kog'Maw here.
There are a few things we needed to judge for the success of this series for both teams. For Impulse to be successful, they needed Impact and Rush to overpressure Dyrus and Santorin and make a top lane priority a thing. That has failed in the last 2 games. Another thing Impulse needed to do was to have XiaoWeiXiao either match or exceed Bjergsen a little bit, since Bjergsen has more roaming responsibilities. That also hasn't happened. Both games, or all games this series, Bjergsen with a CS differential at 10. Around 13 or 14 I saw in the pregame. Everything that TSM needed to do to prevent Impulse from winning this series, they have done.
So far, so good then. Team Solomid. Dyrus doing well, even with some pressure from his team, which is quite nice. But even when left alone, his minion farm never seems to fall too far behind. Level 6 now on both these solo bottom laners. Lustboy, though, ready to stab Apollo in the back. Flashless Kog'Maw, but Lustboy has all his skills available that he needs. Mid lane matchup still going fairly close, but XiaoWeiXiao taking a whole bunch of damage. Bjergsen so far so good in this matchup, and of course, not on Orianna. It's not like you can wait around and get 4 items and just crush people with shockwaves. So XiaoWeiXiao going equal in mid, not exactly an amazing thing to do.
It's continuing to zone Apollo here. Lustboy has waited so long for this moment.
And it's done.
Adrian, a good bodyguard, and Dyrus dropping pretty low on health as well, so good stuff. Huge fan vote for Team Solomid here. And they do sit 1,000 gold up, but it stayed stagnant.
TSM's got to be careful not to vote more if they go over 90%.
The curse.
TSM loses.
Look at Impact though. Yes, Dyrus is getting back to lane quickly with his ultimate, but Impact, he's got his Cinderhole completed. He's got his smite up. Started the counter jungling. Santorin just showed on the opposite side of the map. Rush saw him try and invade at the Raptors. So Impact getting some of that counter jungling done. Some value out of that TP smite top laner.
Yeah.
Deep wards as well.
Impact's actually pretty much equal in gold with Dyrus right now, despite what you're seeing on the scoreboard being down in CS. He's killing camps that are worth more. So this top laner is scaling quite nicely, and we haven't gotten to see Shyvana versus Sion as a matchup, I believe, in the LCS. I'm actually curious to see how that heads-up matchup will eventually go, because they are in this 1v1 now. And Sion building armor, it's a magic damage top laner here. Impact's going to get a lot of damage here.
Time to fight.
Challenging smite as well. And that's true damage.
Dyrus doesn't have flash.
He has red
Dyrus
buff
doesn't
too.
have flash. This is going to be Impact killing Dyrus one-on-one. Oh my god!
Well, speaking of things that Impulse needed to go right in this series, Impact has to assert dominance over Dyrus in the lane. Dyrus not judging the red buff Cinder Hulk completed challenging smite damage of an equal level Shyvana, and he pays the price.
He does. He pays the iron price here, and this is going to be a very good thing then. Team Impulse with some top lane pressure. We saw Cloud9 get carried by that. We're seeing Red Team ban Hecarim every single game because they're so afraid of top lane running amok.
Phreak, paying the iron price is when you are the one doing the killing.
Really?
And you take something from them.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Well, now that we're clear on that. Yeah.
I'm good with my references, guys.
Good try, though.
All right. Impact pays the iron price by killing Dyrus.
If you pay gold for something, then you're just buying it. But if you kill someone and take it,
you're paying the iron price.
Oh, that's...
There you go, buddy.
Oh, I learned something.
Did you read
today.
the books?
No. I don't even know what books we're talking about.
Oh, God.
Oh, big time dive.
Oh, my God. It's a level 5 agent, though. He's got to run away from the turret, but Apollo gets the kill. Dyrus TP's in. Won't land the big axe smash, but Tip forced to run away. Point blank ult from Dyrus. Impact says, all right, I'll fight you. Forces the flash out. A snowball from Rush, though, means maybe they get more, and XiaoWeiXiao does get it.
They have to make sure they get some turret pressure, though, because there is a two-man push in the mid lane from TSM on the other side of this one. Big-time dive there from Impulse. All 5 members showing up in lane to try and equalize the game, and they trade turrets.
Well, the Great Danes of TSM do knock down the mid lane outer. Bot lane outer goes down, back for Team Impulse, and it's Tip now with 300 gold lead.
Wow, they came back pretty strong there, and all of that begins and ends, I feel like, with Impact solo kill on Dyrus, setting him out of sync. XiaoWeiXiao keeping up in farm. Now Alistar is level 6 if they want to continue their turret dives. Yes, the overall theme of this composition later will be to protect the Kog'Maw, but for now they're keeping up a lot of aggression. One of the main things about the normal Juggernaut team comps is they have to be very patient because they don't really have the ability to make plays. If you throw an Alistar and Shyvana in there, you hybridize the comp a little bit to a hard initiation dive with Kog'Maw to back it up. I
actually really like this, especially when you consider the fact Shyvana can pull people out, Alistar can push people out, and there's actually somewhere to put pressure on the map that's not just the Kog'Maw hitting a turret. I actually really like Impulse's team comp in this game. We'll see how else they can play out. Of course, TSM still very close in this game. The gold practically equal, and they've still got a very large gold income Urgot and a nearly Triforced up Corki.
Remember that giant check mark we gave Impact Phreak?
It's paying off.
Let's see here, though. Because there are jungle camps up.
Oh, what?
Okay. And some minions he wants to go and grab.
So minions first, then jungle camps. All right. He's got his priorities straight.
All right, Impact will not lose turret pressure for this, at least 40 seconds.
Yeah, well, there's vision on the bottom of the map here that relied, that showed them where Santorin was. So therefore, he's just going to try and farm in between the turrets. Knowing that both teleports are down, he's safely going to try and invade the jungle and make sure he counter-jungle Santorin. The main action, though, is at this dragon.
It's a 4-on-4, and a lot of Impulse's gold is on Impact himself. Will they play around Kog'Maw with a hard engage? They catch Apollo. This Kog'Maw's in a pretty bad spot. XiaoWeiXiao trying to buy some time. Rush builds a lot of room as well. Apollo goes into Wildturtle. He's actually still not down. More time to hit some attacks, but Adrian is going to fall. 1 for 0. Wildturtle actually knocks down Rush as well, and Impulse's 4-on-4 goes bad. A flash away.
Rush is continually chasing kills on Nunu. He has to peel for the team here. Not team fight expertise on that champion, and TSM comes up big.
Lustboy with the flash anchor to grab the extra kill on Kog'Maw, stunting his growth even further. Can he steal this with a... Okay.
He tried.
Dyrus, meanwhile, deciding to farm far away from Shyvana. Good choice.
And one of the critical things of that fight, though, is the fact that Impact, the main gold bearer on Team Impulse, wasn't there. So the 4v4 trade was not advantageous for Impulse, especially when you were considering they were the ones initiating the Dragon take. So they were taking Dragon damage this whole time. With the speed shrine control, they don't actually use that to their full benefit right there. XiaoWeiXiao gets, once again, isolated by the great ultimate there from Santorin's Gragas. And then, look, Rush, instead of trying to stick around with Apollo, he goes chasing Wildturtle. He doesn't have the damage to kill Wildturtle on Nunu. It cost them big.
He did have a decent Nunu ultimate after Apollo got knocked to the other side of this team, but wasn't enough. Lustboy answers, picks up another one. Beautiful combo there.
More effect to our replays when they don't have sound as well.
Your voice
Tell
carries
it was
all
a
the
different
weight.
match.
All right, well, Team Solomid off a very good team fight. See themselves in a good spot. They got Dragon 1 themselves. They've got a 2,000 gold lead. They just have to worry about Impact trying to do crazy things in the top lane. Most recently, just he and Dyrus split some farm, proxying the wave. Didn't seem to do much for Shyvana, as it meant he was not able to fight Dyrus anymore. Bit of time to the pressure top lane out. Dyrus walking back to the lane will give time for the turret to take damage.
TSM circling around bottom. So when he does proxy, though, the added benefit for Shyvana is that she has the smite. So she gains not only the minions in the lane, but also the income from the jungle.
Oh, definitely. And right now he sits on a 900 gold lead because of some of that jungling here. Bottom lane.
Well, they should know they have a bit of a numbers advantage right now because Urgot is off dealing with Impact Shyvana, who's just trying to be a nuisance right now.
Right now, Bjergsen is taking the red buff away. He gets his own red. Impact gets some damage into Dyrus, who now is a Spectre's Cowl, so the MR coming in finally. The Urgot does have red buff. This is something that Impulse could time. For XiaoWeiXiao recalling back in the flash. Snowball. Wildturtle does have flash himself, and in comes Nautilus. A lot of slows in there, but not nearly enough done. Flash for nothing.
Rush is a playmaker. You can tell it's in his veins, but Nunu is not a playmaking champion. He keeps flashing in for these ice blasts, doesn't even burn a summoner spell from Wildturtle after rotation, but burns everything from his own kit.
And look at this answer invade from TSM, circling around through the red side jungle, headed up towards mid lane here. XiaoWeiXiao's got blue buff though. He continually clears this wave extremely quickly.
Problem is all he's doing is trading farm, and Lulu, now known for his scaling, good hook in from Lustboy.
Get him.
Now Lustboy is
Get him, Rush.
in a rough position.
Great set of knockouts, no ulti for Lustboy. That will be the kill. And Apollo in prime position to the back line, but here comes the teleport. XiaoWeiXiao gets dropped down by Wildturtle, who wants even more, as Apollo will be another kill picked up. Impact does what he can on the top side of the fight, but Rush getting chased down. A third kill for Wildturtle, and now he wants the fourth. Impact gonna go down, no Penta for him. Bjergsen gets the fifth, but a huge team fight for Team Solomid.
That could be the fight that puts TSM into the LCS Spring Split Finals right there. They flanked around after Lustboy was caught, but Tip over-initiated in the own jungle there and got collapsed on hard.
That is going to accelerate the power spikes of Turtle and Bjergsen so quickly here. Already sitting on the Trinity Force. That's 6 kills on Turtle, 3 on Bjergsen.
Yeah, we know that Rush burned his flash ultimate in that attempted catch of Wildturtle and was out of mana before this fight began.
So is Apollo.
So when they try and go in there after the kill, they are trapped. Teleports come into match, but it doesn't matter because Wildturtle is in the flank, gets most of the damage down. Bjergsen full resources, Turtle full resources, Rush and Apollo out of the fight before it begins, and it is just a bloodbath, all in the favor of TSM.
Level 11 Trinity Force Corki. And got to land an easy Foss Bomb.
Huge damage.
He's sitting on 3,000 gold right now.
Bloodthirster.
One shot of Bloodthirster from Longsword. Yeah, pretty far ahead, I would say. It's a good time to Good time to be Wildturtle, probably a good time to be a TSM fan as well, as these guys sit 5,000 gold up. The Dragon's up in a minute, and you got to expect TSM should have no problems claiming this objective for themselves. The swap, and XiaoWeiXiao with a flash engage for Lustboy. Maybe he's going to get away from this one, but a lot of damage from Bjergsen. A couple Ascenders away, but a lot of damage from the Absolute Zero. Maybe they can chase back down, and in fact, they do. Bjergsen goes down. Good escape by XiaoWeiXiao. Didn't even have to flash to leave.
One kill back there for Impulse. However, can't really convert that into any objectives, so not too shabby for TSM. Dyrus even gets a decent amount of damage on the top turret.
Yeah.
I think it might give time for Impulse. Some of these summoners were used in that.
It was a basic shutdown, the smallest of 3 kill shutdown, but not going to be that huge.
He's got his own damage on Dyrus for sure. But as far as Dragon preparations go, they're still in the favor of TSM. TSM has the pink ward control over Dragon. Dyrus is getting to that tanky point where Impact can't really break through to bully him anymore. Therefore, the split pushing potential, even with the challenging smite and the 3 kills, he's not really able to move Dyrus. It makes this roam up by Adrian a little bit questionable. I don't feel like they can do anything.
Well, Dragon's alive right now, and if Team Impulse are betting on TSM doing it, maybe they can go for the Kog'Maw.
They walk through wards getting there. While there are no wards on Baron, they did walk through this
Corki is still bottom, though.
Jungle.
Yeah, deep wards from TSM being incredibly important.
Dyrus going to get pulverized into the wall, maybe a headbutt, but just not enough being done there. Impact going to get knocked up, and Dyrus doesn't care too much. Should be a quick, clean Dragon kill then when TSM do want it after they stop the rest of this pressure. XiaoWeiXiao gets knocked around, thankfully for him, away from Santorin.
TSM can take the Dragon at their leisure at this point, it feels like. But they may end up trying to pressure this mid lane first. They have the advantages. Dyrus is immovable in the top lane right now, so TSM is free to go where they please.
And were they pleased to knock down mid lane tier 2, so Solomid, 6,000 gold up here. Whatever objective they want, they tend to get, and maybe now it's blue buff. Everything being taken off the map right now for these guys.
Map control. The name of the game for TSM when they have been on red side. They get that small advantage, and they don't seem to give it up. Rush was trying to get vision control. It cost him his life.
Rush down again. So, talking about taking the Dragon at your leisure. Also pick up the jungler on the way. Everything going according to plan here for TSM.
This series has been almost the deconstruction of Rush's playstyle by TSM, taking his aggression, moving him away from Lee Sin, pushing him back onto Nunu, where it just is not the way Rush plays. It's not enabling his strengths. It is showing a lot of holes in Rush's game that very few teams are able to expose this year, but TSM is punishing him for every movement he makes.
And Dyrus, who Team Impulse tried to punish every time. Ban the Lulu. Okay, he plays Maokai. Fine, ban the Maokai, take the Lulu. He plays Sion. Seems to be fine. Dyrus having enough to do in this game, holding onto his top lane decently well. Impact's got a gold lead, doesn't seem to be showing. Dyrus able to survive these matchups just fine.
Impact is doing everything he can up there. Trying to take jungle camps, trying to steal red, keep pressure top, take the crabs, crab control acquired. It's just...
But yeah, he's doing good things, but top lane just doesn't matter. Yeah. The one solo kill was really nice. His team fighting's been good, but every single time like Dragon's up, teleports are down. So TIP have not been able to use Impact for team fights reliably. Solomid winning the team fights because of this. Mid lane tier 2 is already gone. Wildturtle's going to knock down top lane outer. 4 turrets to 1 in this game. Every single measure of victory in TSM's favor so far. And Dyrus with teleports bot lane. The rest of the team ready to go top.
They know something's up.
Jump! Tricky by Impact. Maybe the team's going to show up here. Out he goes. Oh, by Lustboy. Impact goes down to the burn. Wildturtle takes him out, and the fight continues. Rush takes a Lulu open only to run away. The teleport from Dyrus will not find much but some minions, but it will be top lane tier 2, I assume, going down. Dyrus, nearly knocks down XiaoWeiXiao, but it buys him even more time to take this turret down.
This is Impulse falling apart right now. Impact had predicted so many of the ganks in previous games to TSM. That time he predicted it, but he could still not escape thanks to the beautiful anchor toss from Lustboy. Now pressure moves to Baron.
We see so many of these full collapses at the end of these best-of-5 series because they're so taxing.
Whew. That's going to be anchors away. Into Apollo they go, but he's going to run away from this one. All right. All right, whatever.
You were saying?
Yeah. Yes, these are very draining, long best-of-5 series, right? So slowly breaking down this... Okay, let's take a look at the replay. He sits in there for a pretty long time, and it looked like maybe a little bit of miscommunication. They were thinking of going with an offensive play there instead of just immediately jumping out. But waiting around that long...
They knew Dyrus wasn't there, so they thought maybe if they get the right initiation, they can pull Shyvana Lulu ult, maybe wombo the whole team down.
And that's where very, very quick decision-making has to be made, and clear calls are very important, because a moment's hesitation like that, that's all that Lustboy needs. One small opening, and he lands another really nice anchor toss.
Oh, wow. Wildturtle going hard. Push and rush around. And TSM's had some very good plans this game. Baron's still on the table. They've been playing the top side river for a very long time here. I guess the last 5 minutes, roughly. And they're routinely picking up advantages this way. Pink ward in front of the pit. Doesn't spot the ones in the back, though. Impulse know there's no Baron baits really on the table here. Impact sent to the bottom lane, away from Baron with the teleport. Maybe he can make something happen, create a pressure point. There is no teleport for Dyrus, so maneuvering for TSM may be difficult. Apollo, of course, you can still sit back and wait for Kog'Maw to get gigantic.
Nice ward that Impulse has been able to sneak inside that pit. Basically, Impact would have to teleport right next to the Baron.
He's going
giving up his own fate here. I think this is trouble. TSM back away.
Smites and a Nunu. TSM, what are they going to choose for? Impact goes in for Baron. They really want it. Rushes there. Red team gets Baron Nasher. That's team solo mid. Good luck with this fight, Impulse, because Impact's going to be going down as well. That's 2 kills picked up. Santorin survived the whole thing. 3 kills now in this one. Nobody's left standing except XiaoWeiXiao.
2 smites and a consume, and Santorin gets it.
Another deathless game for Santorin also. He comes away with the Baron. I guess it wasn't really a steal, but the Smite War win versus 2 people, one of them being Nunu, and he survives another 0-0-13 this time around.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Big stun on XiaoWeiXiao. Goodbye.
10-1 now on Wildturtle, the beneficiary of so many good team fights by TSM. And a lot of that's been created by Santorin. Wildturtle has done some solo flanks on his own. It's this, I want to say a lot of experience for TSM, but for Santorin, it's just talent almost. It's the practice he's put in with TSM to be calm in these situations, going up against that many smiters and consumes and still getting it.
This is the reason. Not sure if we've revealed something yet, so I'll keep my mouth shut. That's a secret still, I think.
Kobe with the tease. Impact comes in.
Oops.
Yeah, but look at this. You can tell they're focusing on this. If Impact and Impulse just say now, everyone bursted damage at 2,000. So somehow Santorin recognized that was when Impulse was going to burst it, throws his smite in there randomly, able to pick it up, and then because of the giant gold lead, TSM crushes it.
Yeah, rookie of the split Santorin crushing in this series overall. You talk about deathless games, you're talking about how much he's hitting smites, we're talking about how he's doing so much heavy lifting in these team fights. And this is a dragon that will be going over without even Santorin's help. You know what? Wildturtle can get this one. No big deal. But that's number 3 here. Movement speed for Team Solomid. They're up stupid amounts of gold right here, 28 minutes in. And they're looking for bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, talking about rookies of the split, these were the 2 main front runners for North America going head-to-head, Rush and Santorin. Consistency pays off for TSM. Santorin doesn't even feel like a rookie. He's so level-headed, and he fits in with TSM so well. Looks like he's going to head to his first finals with the team.
Yeah, and TSM very close to going to their 5th consecutive LCS final. Dyrus would have gone to all 5 if they close this one out. Wildturtle missiles. Those things are hurting.
Oh, wow, Adrian didn't even think he needed to ult, but he did. There's the kill. There's Dyrus in. Impact will tank it, but he's slowly and surely losing a lot of health. Absolute Zero buys a bit of time, but Rush going to be a casualty maybe as Wildturtle keeps putting in damage, but there's the kill on Impact. There's the kill onto Apollo one more time. This Kog'Maw 1, 5, and 3 not getting the damage output except for his passive. 2 inhibitors down. TSM looking to close this game in under 30 minutes as well. They got better and better throughout this series. 1 loss followed by 3 wins. And Team Solomid, if they can close this game out, as they break down the base. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Oh dear. There's another kill picked up as Adrian goes down. Final turret dropping. Wildturtle still here. That's going to be it. Nexus going down. 29 minutes and 30 seconds. Team Solomid in 4 games heading to the finals.
TSM back in the finals yet again to face who other but Cloud9 a week from today.
Surprise!
Spring Finals 2015 matchup is now set. Team Solomid dropping the first game, but then running through Impulse the next 3.
Red side OP today. 5-0? Or 9-0, I think, in the LCS playoffs today. But very great play by Team Solomid. You mentioned it, deconstructing Rush's play style. And every single game looked worse and worse for the TIP newcomer jungler. Santorin putting on a clinic, 2-0-14 there, managed to get a couple of kills at the end for himself. But a lot of really good contributions by this Team Solomid lineup.
Things that TSM had to do this series: have Bjergsen dominate, check. Dyrus, have him not lose to Impact, check. But the biggest check of all was Santorin on Rush, shutting down a lot of his early game jungling as a team, but allowing Santorin Gragas every single game. Early pressure, teamfight initiations, the whole package, and deathless in his last 2 games.
Yep, 3 Gragas games in a row. We mentioned on the PTL that we'll give Rush a check, but we're going to give Santorin the center Hulk icon for his ability to play these new tank junglers, and he found a really good home with Gragas. Early pressure was there, team fight presence was there. He was stuffing Gragas ultimates, knocking Karthus out of team fights, making all kinds of great plays. Solomid from top to bottom, really an amazing performance, especially in this last game here.
Turtle as well has made so many improvements this season compared to last season.
Yeah.
Really stepping up. Most damage dealt for the team. Obviously, you got a lot of money in this game on Corki. Sure. Which definitely helps. But strong positioning. He did flash forward a few times.
Yeah.
but wasn't.
That's always what Wildturtle does.
I mean, I was trying to remember if he died or not. I was like,
he had 1 death. He had 1 death on Corki. You know what? I think we'll forgive him for that one. Because, yeah, he got a quadra kill by flashing in like onto a Nunu, getting a really good flank onto the Kog'Maw. I mean, TSM's ability to reach Apollo is actually quite good in these fights as well. And, you know, when your melee champions are low damage, someone's got to actually put the rest of that damage through, and that ended up being Wildturtle, which is really impressive of him. I said it on PTL, I think it went on air, that I liken him to Uzi as an AD carry, that he will go for the aggressive plays, and as you mentioned, him getting better and better this split, I think he's approaching that mark where he's playing the aggressive AD carry style, and his risks are almost always paying off. I am really liking Wildturtle as a player this year.
He's stepped up in a lot of big ways, and we have to make TSM the favorite coming into these spring split finals. The #1 seed in North America, #1 for the whole season. 1 IM Katowice. They're looking to go to MSI and try and prove themselves on a world stage. They need to make sure they're not looking too far ahead, take control of North America first, because they have that classic matchup.
I don't think TSM ever really overlooks Cloud9, so this is going to be a really, really exciting finals.
And of course, we'll see Team Impulse versus Team Liquid in the 3rd place match next week as well. It's going to be a very fun set of games, but right now we've got Riv and Zyrene standing by at the television.